Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paola, and today I have an amazing guest, the one and only Melissa C. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Love Letters for Joy.
Hi, my name is Melissa. I am a queer disabled YA contemporary romance author. I wrote You, Me, and Our Heartstrings last year, which came out last year, and then Love Letters for Joy. Love Letters for Joy is a queer disabled YA retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac, starring Joy, a panromantic asexual girl with cerebral palsy who is determined to be her school's valedictorian, but who is in a bit of an academic rivalry. And also, she is a part of the asexual spectrum that wants romance in her life. However, she hasn't really thought about that because school is more important to her. She's sort of determined to be the valedictorian, or the first disabled valedictorian also, of her academy. So she then writes to this anonymous love letter writer at her school named Cosmo Cupid in the hopes that maybe she has missed something. But then she starts to fall for the person behind the letters, and it is the very last person that she ever would have expected.
Yes. Oh my God. First of all, that cover is absolutely
It's stunning. It's stunning.
beautiful.
The artist is Reed McHale. They are absolutely incredible. They also did the cover for Heartstrings too.
I love that. I also love the continuity that comes with the same artist doing
Yeah,
the covers.
where you can feel as if it matches a
Yes,
little bit.
and I also really love Cyrano retellings, particularly the ones with happy endings. So, what about that story made you want to reimagine it?
Well, the funny thing is that I had talked to my friends about the initial idea I had for this book, which was a little bit different than what Love Letters for Joy ultimately came to be. And my friend Gabe, who is also an author, he told me this is like Cyrano, and I'm like, oh my god, it is. When I realized that, me being the absolute theater kid I am, let me fully go into this. And there's one big allusion to the play in Love Letters for Joy. You will know this, but and people, when they read Love Letters for Joy, if they know Cyrano, they will also know this, but it's the Bethesda Terrace scene. That's a big allusion to Cyrano, and that was completely on purpose. And so I think as far as what drew me to Cyrano after I realized, oh wait, that's what I'm doing, is that I'm like, well, wait, let me look into this and kind of see, oh wait, let me take Cyrano and have it be from the perspective of these two disabled teenagers who don't necessarily know what it is they're looking for in terms of love, when Cyrano is all about love and figuring out what that means and figuring out what you're worthy of and figuring out what you want and do not want and figuring out how to communicate with the person that you have feelings with. And that is what Joy and Caldwell Cupid learn to do throughout the book. So I think that what drew me to Cyrano ultimately, when I realized, oh wait, that's what I'm doing, Care of my friend Gabe, I wanted to explore that, but within the context of making it queer and disabled and what that looks like.
I love that. That is so fun about retellings in general. But I think something about Cyrano is also like the trope of like mistaken identity. More than mistaken, it's like hidden identity.
It's a hidden identity.
And I love that mystery because like inevitably it will blow up in someone's face.
And it does. It does in her too.
And it is just the anticipation, just beautiful. Like I love it. So I had no idea that your book was going to be in dual POV, and that is one of my favorite.
Were you surprised
to read? Yes, I was like, oh, so I love that. I love that. So, what were some of the like challenges, and what were some of the highlights that came with writing from two very distinct perspectives?
It was hard because when I was developing Love Letters for Joy, it became dual POV because my editor had a really interesting idea, and I was like, but how is that going to work? But it was a really interesting balancing act for me because for a little bit of Love Letters for Joy, Cosmo Cupid's identity is hidden from both the reader and Joy. Yes. So I had to hide Cosmo Cupid's identity throughout their chapters as well. So I had to make sure whoever they are, I did not say their name. And that was a big challenge because how do I get dialogue to be like this? How do I have the scene work the way I want it to? How do I have characters react the way I want them to? And like, how do I basically navigate this scene? So I think that was a challenge for me, which I realize is very unique to the situation of Love Letters for Joy, basically having two two, but technically three POV. As far as the highlights were getting into both characters' heads and realizing in a certain way, oh wait, both of you are worried about nearly identical things. You don't want to tell the other person. One of you doesn't even know that's the person that you're talking to.
Exactly.
And it was a little bit of like twists and turns and trying to figure out, okay, like how do I navigate? It was a lot of navigating things, but I think the reward in that was being able to see, oh no, wait, here's how all the pieces fit together. It was just really interesting because I'm like, you are two completely different people who have a lot in common, but who in a way are almost afraid to talk about your commonalities purely because you are 17, nearly 18-year-olds in a
Yes.
really competitive high school. So all of this pressure is on you from different avenues, and how do you structure that? How do you deal with that? How do you handle that? How do you handle life after high school? How do you handle your burgeoning brewing feelings for each other? How do you also handle this secret relationship that really only one of you knows the whole truth about? It was just really interesting. I really, really love how it all came together.
I just love our main characters so much.
Thank you.
So, what was rewarding about getting to create them and make them come to life?
I'll do both of them. For Joy, I think one of the most rewarding things about her was that she was a fat, disabled, queer girl who is from just this very loving family of her two moms, and she has these incredible friends, and she has people who are completely in her corner, who support her in anything and everything that she does, and she never has to change herself for anyone. The person that she ends up falling in love with loves her for exactly who she is, and that's important because growing up as a queer, disabled person, it's a very intricate, delicate, awkward experience, because for me, as someone who has been disabled for their entire life, I know what it's like when people look at me and see me as physically disabled. I experience that all the time, even as someone who is now in their 30s. Then when I realized many, many years into my life that, oh wait, you're not straight. Okay, so that is something I have to explore and figure out what all of this means. And I didn't really know what to make of it for a very long time, and I didn't know how to contend with both parts of my identity of being a queer person and being a disabled person and what that means. For Joy, I wanted the representation of this person who knew who she was, who knew, oh, I'm already ace and I'm okay with that, and my family is okay with that, and my friends are okay with that, and I'm comfortable and I love myself because of exactly who I am, and I'm comfortable in my body, I'm comfortable in my fatness. And in realizing she's also comfortable being disabled, she's not uncomfortable being disabled, it's her body that's uncomfortable. Her being disabled, she's not uncomfortable with that. She's like, oh, I'm disabled, I have cerebral palsy, that's just something that I live with, and that's fine. But having someone who is as comfortable as a 17-year-old can be in their skin, there are moments of vulnerability. Joy isn't invulnerable. She has moments of vulnerability because of course she does, but writing Joy as exactly who she was, as someone who knew key core parts of herself, and she was still figuring it out because there is a portion of her queerness that she doesn't realize right off the bat.
Yeah.
But she realizes that, and that's important. And you can take as long as you need to figure out your identity in whatever sort of spectrum that is. And for Joy, though, for me, having that representation on the page of having this disabled, fat, queer person be completely confident and love themselves was one of the most rewarding things I have ever done. And Joy is definitely one of the most rewarding MCs that I've ever written. As for Cupid, I almost said their name. I'm very proud of myself for not saying their name. Writing them, I think in a way, their journey is in reverse isn't the correct terminology here, but that's really how I'm like choosing to describe it, I guess, because they are closeted, and their journey of finding genuine love and acceptance from those around them, I think, was also really rewarding and also really important, because you have these two queer disabled teenagers who are on separate journeys of love and acceptance, but they're on that journey together. And it's since you asked me that question, I'm like, oh wait, this is what I'm proud of with these characters. And it's just a really wonderful thing for me to look at them and realize you wrote two characters who are on a journey of love and acceptance from different avenues, but who end up walking on the same block. It's just a really, really sweet thing. I think that specifically are two of the things that I loved most about writing Cupid and Joy.
Yes. Speaking of writing characters and writing things about them
Mhm.
going on the same journey, what was your favorite scene to write?
Can I say a couple? Because I can't really narrow it down. Okay, so this is gonna sound weird, but when you read the book, you'll understand. It's when Joy falls off the coffee table. Because as someone who has fallen off the coffee table, not in any sort of grandiose fashion, but as someone who has cerebral palsy, you don't really have balance a lot of the time. So I've fallen off the coffee table before. But obviously I'm alive. So that scene was awesome because I'm like, let me really play with the romantic tension here. Because playing with romantic tension is one of my favorite things I get to do as an author. I love doing that. And then I also love the first kiss. I loved how I was able to just kind of let them be raw and vulnerable in a way that they had not yet been with each other, despite everything that went on over the course of the book. I think the kiss is probably one of the most vulnerable parts of the book, but it's vulnerable not in a way you're bearing your soul to me at the moment. It's all of our guards are down. I just really, really loved writing that scene.
Yes, I love that kiss too. I also love the punch. That was very rewarding. Yes. That was so
Ableism is literally punched in the face in this book.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So this next part is the game. Would you rather secretly love a book everybody else hates or secretly hate a book everybody else loves?
Secretly hate a book everyone else loves.
Would you rather have dinner with your favorite dead author or your favorite dead character?
Have dinner with my favorite dead character.
Who's your favorite dead character?
Benico Adair, because I'm like,
oh,
why?
Yeah. Would you rather live in a fairy tale or a romance novel?
I'm gonna go with fairy tale because you can have romance in a fairy tale.
Would you rather forget all your favorite series and discover them all over again, or remember all the details of every book you've ever read?
Remember all the details of every book I've ever read.
You're literally the first person that says that. I
really?
That. Yes.
Wow.
Like, would you rather have a friend who loses your books or one who dog ears them?
Dog ear, because if I lose a book, I'll be upset. I'll be sad about it.
Please, for the love of God, read Love Letters for Joy. It is beautiful. It is beautiful to look at, and it is beautiful to read. I could not stop. This is the first book that I've stayed up till like 3 a.m. finishing. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everybody else for watching. Don't forget to check out the description below for buy links. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.